As a Chinese student living in America and studying at American high school, I must admit that I have some misconceptions when I first arrived. Initially, I thought coming from China, where students attend high school 6 days per week and from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., that school in America would be less intense and would be a relief from the demanding schedule in China. But since Stephen surprised me with its commitment to extraordinary amount of homework. Even though the school days is shorter, I soon discovered that the hours were even longer because I often found myself studying past 9 p.m. into the late hour of the night. Second, I imagined the food in here was going to be fine, but I soon discovered that all the food is either too sweet or too salty with the same sauce. Everything had too much oil and too much butter. And I long for a decent Chinese restaurant in Bradenton that's not some type of Americanized version of my long-last Chinese recipe. Perhaps there is a potential venture in the food business awaiting in Bradenton, but I probably won't be around to find out. I miss my Chinese soup that most Americans would probably find too bland or filled with too much strange vegetables. Third, I thought the people were a little strange when I first arrived, because everyone was so friendly and so open and welcome. Everyone always asks, "How are you?" or "How are you doing today?" But in China, nobody asks anybody how it's doing today. It's a cultural taboo. I found it bizarre and had no idea how to respond at first. However, after a while, I was able to adapt and actually embrace my newfound culture. Misconception aside, I learned a lot about America and discovered myself and passions in the process. Most importantly, I learned to be independent. I couldn't drive in China, but on the other hand, in America, I was able to drive at just 16 years old, which I think is pretty cool. I'm also thankful for the opportunity to choose my classes and discover the subject I'm most passionate about. In high school in China, everybody takes the same core classes. Also, grades are public, and teachers announce the student's grade, and often mocking the student who don't perform well. I'm so happy to be able to choose the courses I'm interested in, because doing so allows me the freedom to explore my interests and choose whatever I want to focus on later in my life. Ultimately, I'm happy to be here and look forward to the next chapter in my life. All the great lessons and discoveries would not have been possible if it weren't for the great teachers. I want to thank my teacher for guiding me over the years and instilling in me not just knowledge, but also the willingness to preserve. I also want to thank my golf team for all the great memories. Lastly, I want to thank my friends and my family for being there to support me in good times and bad. It's been a wonderful 4 years, and this last year is bittersweet. I will miss you all, but life must go on and take me to the new places and pursue my new dreams. Thank you.